forgot that the reason why y'all are getting blinded like this is because I moved this light. I moved this light so that I could creep up behind the corner of the couch, and I forgot to move it back. That's my fault. Give me a second to fight with my... Well, first of all, I have to put captions on. Second of all, I need to fix the lower height. Oh, thank you, Cat Wizard. And then the last thing is, wow. Yeah. I gotta figure out food. Like I was saying in chat, I made rice so that I wouldn't have to order out, and now my brain is violently rejecting wanting to actually like warm up food, which annoys the fuck out of me because this is why I made a point of making rice in the first place. I got it, and that was yesterday. Like I got over the executive dysfunction of not having rice made last time, but now I'm using it for the thing. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, let me figure out this thing. Okay, hang on. Trying to figure out what my brain is. What my brain is feeling. The thing. I forgot to turn on the subtitles. Cosmo time. But yeah, hi everybody. Happy Friday. I hope the day has been restful and or productive for y'all. I want to say that it was for me, relatively speaking. Okay, what is it? What is it? Mine was restful, and that I'm out of ADHD meds temporarily, to be honest. Yeah. Food because messy, yeah. Fuck it. Where's Chipotle? I'm I'm sitting here trying to figure out what I have a craving for. What is the strongest thing in my brain? It's like Chipotle, 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 Chipotle. So I guess that's it. And I hate it when I get cravings like that because it's like even if I'm trying to order out, it's like my brain will literally not let me eat, and it's like, okay, I have to make a decision between do I eat it all or like whether or not I eat it all. And it's like, all right, fine, fuck. All right, so that'll be on the way in a bit. So, Fighting Friday this week. We're going to be talking about Crimson Viper. I'm going to be playing some Street Fighter 6. We're going to be doing casual matches. Mostly just because, or like ranked with Elena and Cammy probably. Just to kind of feel things out. So yeah, Crimson Viper. And I'm going to link in a minute where I'm going to be getting most of the information about her from, because for whatever reason, I don't know why exactly Capcom did it like this. This is a little weird to me. I do not know if I agree with this particular thing that they chose to do, but the information that they have given out about Crimson Viper and some of her preliminary system stuff is only available on the community page for Street Fighter 6 on Steam, at least right now, in the news page over there. So I will drop that off for y'all in chat so that you can see some of the stuff that she has. Or better yet, I'll probably just pull it up in a window. I'll just pull it up in a window so we can like take a look down it and take a look here. Oh right, I still have this open. So I was working on code for that. I knew there were things that I forgot to set up. Alright, let me take a look here. So, here we go. So, Viper, and here's the link if you want to read along also. So, first and foremost, Viper's release date is going to be October 15th, right? That is the first and foremost thing. So, middle of October, she's getting released. Pretty cool. So, we already have her art as well as kind of like just the general look and feel of how she's going to look, which is pretty cool. At least in her default outfit, she has something similar to the pompadour design that she used to have, but like not quite. For people who don't know anything about Crimson Viper, she was basically a secret agent character in Street Fighter 4 who used a lot of gadgets for fighting and things like that. Technically speaking, she's working as anti-Shadaloo, especially even back then in Street Fighter 4, but she was basically in deep cover. So it wasn't immediately obvious that was the case, right? So yeah, according to the notes here on the community page, basically speaking, her current cover at CERN is also for cleaning up like Shadaloo stuff. Now, that said, essentially speaking, VIPER is, to a certain degree, I wasn't a heavy Crimson VIPER player back in the day, so this is one of those things where I have limited knowledge, so I didn't know her that well back then. Essentially speaking, a lot of VIPER's moveset as it is has been brought over from Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 6 largely untouched, but there are aspects of her gameplay style that are going to make unique use of the drive gauge. And I'll explain those as I'm summarizing what's like kind of like read here. So, I believe this used to be Thunder Knuckle, which was also like like a dashing punch attack, right? So the heavy version is an anti-air, and here's the main thing. With VIPER in particular, one of the things that she was known for back in Street Fighter 4 is that you had the ability to feint a lot of her moves. So you would be able to like start an attempt to do some kind of cancel or some kind of like special move and then cancel it, psych people out for various reasons. So Thunder Dash, which is like her electricity punching attack, a couple things that are unique. It has a follow-up move, and when you use that follow-up move, you automatically consume 1 bar of drive gauge, or you can feint doing it and like psych people out into thinking that you're gonna pop them with Thunder Dash, and then you don't, right? Similarly, Burning Kick, which basically used to be... Burning Kick is basically the thing that VIPER was like really known for back in the day in Street Fighter 4. Mostly because like the ground version is just like a jump and kick attack depending on what strength you press. But the air versions in particular used to be really nasty because I don't remember the exact mechanics of it, but there was a version of Burning Kick that you could use in midair where you could, essentially speaking, either... I think it's the way that they describe it here still, is the way it worked in Street Fighter 4 also. The basic idea behind aerial Burning Kick is that you could, depending on where you use it in your jump arc and the timing, you either stay on the same side or switch sides to hit people with cross-ups. And that was always a thing, especially if you like Tiger Kneed it and did it very low to the ground. So as it says here, the light version drops straight down. The medium and heavy versions maintain her jump momentum as far as the aerial versions go. But I believe that given the fact that like VIPER has to like land from the air, they can be made unsafe on block if you're careful. On the other hand, the ground versions of Burning Kick, my understanding, are all safe on block, according to what's said here. I don't know if that was the case in Street Fighter 4 or not. Now, major thing, Seismic Hammer. So, Thunder Dash or Thunder Knuckle, when it was in Street Fighter 4, is dash punch, right? Burning Kick is a dash kick, or it's like a jumping kick. Also new to Street Fighter 6 with Burning Kick has 2 additional follow-ups, one after the other. Each one uses up a bar drive pitch. So a recurring thing that, hey Stubby, a recurring thing that is unique to Crimson Viper thus far is that with the drive gauge, she can burn extra blocks as part of her special moves to do more follow-ups. I don't think she can feint Burning Kick, but she can feint both. She can feint both Thunder Dash, the Electric Knuckle, as well as Seismic Hammer, which is punches the ground and then at a specific spot on screen, there's a little bit of updraft. It's sort of like her answer for a ranged attack. It's not a fireball, right? And the strength of the button that you use for Seismic Hammer determines where it shows up. You can also feint it. I am curious to see how they're going to do the feint input because I am curious to see how they're going to do the feint input. That will be interesting. But we'll see when her move list comes out. You can also use certain tricks with Seismic Hammer to do launch combos and stuff like that, if I recall correctly. Big one. So we do talk about the jump camps. We'll get there in a minute. So, big one for Viper. She got a new move that she didn't have in Street Fighter 4, technically. Focus Force. Essentially speaking, what Focus Force is the equivalent of what used to be called a focus attack in Street Fighter 4. And this is the wild part of it, that they gave her essentially a system mechanic from an older Street Fighter game as a mechanic specifically for her in the form of a special move. So, what is a focus attack? In Street Fighter 4, there was a thing where by pressing medium punch and medium kick together, your character would wind up and do a strike. And that strike has armor on it. It's very similar in practice to the way that drive impacts work in Street Fighter 6. The main difference being that I think I wasn't playing Street Fighter 4 super heavy, so I might be wrong about this. It might be something I have to check in a different window. But to my understanding, the only way to stop a focus attack, let me just go do research actually and not tell lies on this internet. So, right, here's the way it works. So, the main difference is, focus attack had only one hit of super armor. Technically speaking, right, drive impact has 3 hits of super armor. And with drive impact, you can break it by using a super. Or by making the 3 hits beforehand. The main thing that's important is that with a focus attack, you only have the armor while you are charging it. So when you actually attack, right, and your attack's actually coming out, that part's not armored in Street Fighter 4, right? And the idea behind a focus attack is that if you just hit, you could charge it up to 3 levels, and if you hit with a level 1 focus attack and you weren't like counter hitting somebody with it, no crumple. If you counter hit somebody with level 1 focus attack, crumple. Level 2 focus attack, crumples on hit. Level 3 focus attack is unblockable crumple on, right? That's the basic idea behind it. Drive impact is basically similar to this, except that, like I said before, the drive impacts are universally broken by super moves. There are certain moves in Street Fighter 4 that have the armor break property that will also just fuck up a focus attack no matter what. So on and so forth. There's also a thing with like red focus attacks, but we're not going to get into that. So, the main thing, the reason why I bring all that up is because Focus Force is, to my understanding, essentially just focus attack brought back to is basically focus attack brought back to Street Fighter 6, alongside the fact that, to my understanding at least, she still has a regular drive impact. So it is highly likely that by virtue of being able to hold down Focus Force, you can wind up eating a drive impact and then knocking somebody right the fuck out for it, which is really good. You see it in the trailer also, if you watch it. Okay. Very important things. So, VIPER has a super jump. So, it's called high jump here, but it's also known as a super jump in other fighting games, right? So, if you tap down and then do up, you get a higher jump. Elena used to have this in like Street Fighter 3, as maybe not in Street Fighter 4, but she did in 3 for sure. Notable is that VIPER's high jump, you can do it in neutral, you can do it after any normal attack that is not a sweep, or you can do it after seismic hammer. So you launch somebody and then like you do your shit, right? However, doing a high jump can, well, okay. I don't know if it, based on what it says here, it says high jump costs 1 bar of drive gauge. I do not know if this means that it is explicitly when it is used as a cancel or when it is used at all. That's the only thing that's a little bit unclear. My guess is that in line with the other things VIPER has going on, it's as a cancel. So if you do seismic hammer and then do high jump cancel, that's a drive gauge. That's a drive gauge bar that you have to spend. If you hit somebody with a normal that's not a sweep and then you do high jump cancel, that's a drive gauge. If you do it in neutral, probably not, but I don't know for sure. Here's the big one. Pardon me. VIPER's Super Art 1 is very similar to Mai's Super Art 1, where if you use it, it's an install super that has a special effect on VIPER. We don't know how long for yet or what it does. It might be till the end of the round. It might be that there's like a certain time window that you can use it for. We don't know because we haven't seen the HUD. I haven't. So maybe there is footage out there that explains it. I haven't seen it. However, here's the main thing. While Limit Decoupler, her SA1 install, is working, those drive gauge costs that I mentioned for her follow-ups and for high jump cancels and stuff, nope, doesn't apply anymore. You're good. Okay, there's a gauge. That's what it is. I'm sorry. Because I wasn't reading it. It says right here that there's an install gauge. So you use Super Art 1, you get an install gauge for a period of time. While that gauge is full, you can do high jump cancels. You can do high jump cancels or high jump at all, or any special moves that you want without using up drive gauge. But it's a gauge that gets created after you do the install. So you burn 1 meter super. You burn Super Art 1. Presumably, she has KOF max mode basically. Sorta. I would say that mostly the main thing with Limit Decoupler and the high jump cancels, right? High jump cancel, you can only use it after normals that hit, or except for sweep, or after seismic hammer. So mostly as like a launch tool or like a launch following tool is generally its use case, from what I understand. So with Limit Decoupler, it essentially just makes it so that like a lot of her follow-up stuff and high jump cancel becomes free while that gauge is active. The gauge in this case referring to the gauge that she gets after using Super Art 1. My guess is that to keep it in line, the thing that normally costs bar uses up the active time instead. Oh, probably. Maybe. They don't specify here. It could be just that when you're doing it, they'll just let you do it for as long as it's there. But since you bring that up, I think likely to keep it in line with stuff like Guile's Solid Puncher, his Super Art 2, where he buffs up, where he gets the ability to do those rapid fire sonic booms and even throwing regular ones each time out of the gauge. I think they will probably do it like that to keep it in line with the way that like other install supers in this game work. I think they will probably do that, Cat Wizard. You're right. Probably what they'll do is that. And according to the notes here, even if you do her Super Art 1 in Burnout, you still get the free use of high jump or special follow-up, but you can only do it once if you're in Burnout and you activate SA1. If you're not in Burnout and you activate Super Art 1, it's for as long as the gauge holds out. Yeah, Maxwell is just it's a good parallel. And then Mission Complete is her reversal super for SA2, and SA3 is another reversal super, bog standard. And then, as y'all can see, and then we literally hit Crimson Viper's theme right as we look at her Street Fighter 4 outfit. This is her outfit. This is her nostalgia / classic outfit, where she's what she was wearing in Street Fighter 4. So, and this is her theme that's playing right now in the Street Fighter 4 medley on stream. So yeah, this is interesting because essentially speaking, VIPER has a little bit more integration. Her Street Fighter 4 look gives me very lesbian feelings. Yeah. Hang on. I'm double checking to see if I just heard a knock at the door for the food or not. Give me a minute. Okay, food is coming soon. Not yet. Or that might be it right now. Hang on. I might have just heard something before. But yeah, no, for Street Fighter 4 looking very clean. I think if you have the Ultimate Character Pass, I forget the Ultimate Character Pass should give you access to it by default. I don't know if the other one does, but yeah, I'm happy that I don't have to grind for it. So yeah. Overall, I think it's very interesting. Yeah, I would double check to see which one, because I know I'm pretty sure with the Ultimate Pass, because I didn't have to go buy Sagat's nostalgia outfit once I got the Ultimate Pass, so I know for sure the Ultimate Pass has been covered. I don't know about the standard one. So when I play Viper, I'm going to be playing her with like the Street Fighter 4 outfit, probably, if I can find a color I like. I had her on my shortlist for DLC characters because I knew she's popular and also she'd be a slam dunk for lesbians. Yeah. I'm still holding out for Makoto or Ibuki at some point. I would be very happy to have either of them back. Or, as a super long shot, Akira from Rival Schools, because she was one of the DLC characters from Street Fighter V. But Elena being back, even if I don't get Makoto or Ibuki, I'm good with Elena being back, honestly. She's fun, and I'm happy. Well, characters that I really want back, like, down bad, for sure, Makoto and Ibuki. Like, Makoto and Ibuki, for sure. And then Akira is like a nice thing, but not like Sagat was the big one I wanted. Yeah. For my part, the thing that I'm also thinking about is that I am like 95% sure we're going to get Sakura at some point. We're getting Sakura back at some point. I know it. There is no way that Capcom is going to leave her out. It's going to be very interesting, I think. There's no way we're not getting Sakura back. Personally, even though I'm not an Alex player, I am happy for the Alex fans that he's back. He deserves it. And in my particular case, I also feel like, yeah, so Alex being back is a big thing. I'm happy that he's back, even though I'm not an Alex player, just because I think Alex players deserve better. He also looks like he's going to be, he also just, in terms of his look, he looks good.
Street Fighter 6.
So, like, in terms of his like style, he looks good. I also admit that, like, so of the DLC characters that are remaining in this season, I'm gonna be honest, my big ones are Viper and Ingrid. Ingrid, especially. Oh, it's Manissa's birthday. That's on the 26th. That's cool. So yeah, like, I admit entirely that insofar as like the characters that I'm looking forward to the most, especially that are left in this season, I'm gonna be real. It really is primarily yeah, I feel my brain is saying either Elena or Cammy for tonight.
Another mission awaits.
For a real fight.
So yeah. Really, at this particular point, as far as the characters I'm really looking forward to for the rest of this cycle, Viper. I expect that I may not. I expect that if like Viper's APM is too high, I may not be able to keep up. But I accept that. So Viper and Ingrid. Ingrid in particular, I'm really interested to see because I know a little bit about how she plays, not very much, but I know a little bit. I know enough to be dangerous. I think we gotta fix. Yeah, I like Biorhythm. I think that's a good one.
Now, find a new rival. Now, find a new rival. Now, find a new rival.
Yeah.
Now, find a new rival. Now, find a new rival. Now, find a new rival. Now, find a new rival.
Yeah, this one's good. And especially for Elena, that makes sense. And then let me, even though I'm not planning on bringing Sagat to ranked anytime soon, I'm gonna set his up anyway, because I think I should do that. Yeah, yeah, there we go.
Here comes a new challenger.
And I already did Cammy's as Street Fighter Alpha 3. Okay, good.
Here comes a new challenger.
Yeah, we're cooking. We're cooking. Alright, I need to actually make sure that's the person I'm using. Yep. So yeah, basically, admittedly, the thing that I am the most nervous about is that as far as I like the SF4 announcer voice, yeah, a new warrior has entered the arena. Yeah, they had the spice. They did good with that one.
Now, find a new rival.
Yep. Nah. Why'd you go for SA3? Wow. That's wild. That's wild. Ah. Oh. Yeah, that's fair. Ah, I hesitated. I think if I put out the 2MK a little earlier, I might have been able to snipe him out of that backstep. Okay, that's fair. Could be. Okay, yeah, I gotta be a little careful. The thing that's happening there is that I'm too used to some other timings, so I'm waiting too long and I'm pausing. There we go, we got it. I have to repractice that stagger combo because the main problem is that I'm waiting a little too long, so I'm not getting the launch. Ooh. Yeah, no, good check. I shouldn't have done that. I might die. But they get the drive advantage either way, even if I don't die, so not call. Yeah, like they got the drive advantage and they got the corner. I gotta keep this momentum and not. Nah, it was just a dash. That was a good call. I had to think quick because I was like, I'm out of meter, so I'm out of meter, so I need to like think of something that will make this work. All right, I need to relearn. I gotta relearn my driving back combo. There. Yeah, like I had to improvise that real fast. I'm like, okay, I got the stun, right? So then it's right. I was like, okay, but I should have enough meter. Like literally, if I hadn't gotten the kill after OD. If I hadn't gotten the kill after the launch, I would have had to do OD cannon strike, OD cannon spike, and hope that that would have killed because I did not have meter. I was out. That's fair.
Right.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh, I misspaced that. Yeah, that's some corner carry. All right, I just got a comment combo. Yeah, that was a good call. Good attempt at the reaction check, and I appreciate it. Oops, missed it a little. If I hadn't choked during that combo, I would have gotten the launch into dive kick into SA3 and he would have died. But I messed up. It's my fault. I choked a little. But I'm also a little bit rusty with Cammy, so I'm not that surprised that I missed it. All things told. Got me. Hi, Shiny. Ooh, okay, fair. Yeah, I'll hold that one. I'm debusting a little. Oh, sorry, level 8 in the stage? Yeah, it's really good. Ooh, good job. Ooh, damn. Good. Yeah, it's a little harder. Yeah. Ooh, that's... Yeah, I need to repack this with my drive impact because I could do micro walk back MP. I think that's still it, and I think that still works, but I have to check if it's something else that my muscle memory is trying to tell me to do. Ooh, yep. Oh, it wasn't a knockdown, fortunately, but I gotta be a little careful now. Yeah. Ah, damn. If I could have reacted with another drive impact in response to that, I would have gotten the match. But it's okay. I just didn't see it coming. That's fair. Yeah. They had the threats. They had it all leveraged. I'll hold that. It's also master rank, so these things happen. That was a good Ken, though. The thing is that, like, a lot of people look at how aggressive Ken's kit is, and they assume that, like, the answer is, I have to, like, pardon me for being vulgar here for a second, but, like, a lot of people go, like, okay, if I'm playing Ken, I gotta shake their nuts in order to make them, like, really, you know, press the advantage, and it isn't always quite like that, really. Like, if you play the way that Ken did, where you're still very patient, and then you know the right times that you want to, like, go aggro crag, you can really make it work out to your advantage. I messed up. Knuckle. That's my fault. I was trying to press buttons there when I shouldn't have. And against Terry, that's a problem because the main thing is that a lot of the buffs that Terry has gotten have been really good for his overall combo stability. So, especially now, it's a situation where, like, if you fuck up and he gets you with that, like, crouching medium punch, you're not gonna have a good time. Ooh, good call out. Burning. Knockdown. Ooh, yeah, good walk back. Ah, no, I should have stood up. I should have stood up. If I'd stood up and done the jabs, I would have popped him right in the jaw. Because the thing about, like, the fire kick and the crack shoot, like, you can't do that a bunch because, like, if somebody has a fast enough normal, they will interrupt it. Powered down. Yeah, see what I meant by that crouching medium punch and how, like, Terry's stability from, like, that was always his sort of, like, moneymaker button, but, like, especially with some of the changes that it's gotten, I think it was, like, around the Elena patch, it's even more stable now than it used to be. And it's one of those things where, combined with some of the other changes he got, like, it'll fuck you up if you get hit by that button. Ooh, good check. That's plus. Careful. I tried to. That's not plus, though. For sake, but not plus. Or at least, at the very least, it's probably even. Ooh. Back shoot. Some tackle. Nah, I messed up. I was thinking too hard. If I was gonna do that, I should have done jab, jab, drive, cancel, that, launch, SA2. It's okay. Okay, that's what I was trying to do. That's what it was. I was trying to micro walk 5 MP, and I've just been holding it for too long. There we go. I remember what I remember now. But how are you doing, Shiny? Hopefully well. I just love it, though, that my muscle memory with Cammy just never really went away. Very much just a thing where I just needed to remember the specific thing I was trying to do, and now it's like, alright, that's good. Yeah, there we go. Getting the itch play Maritza again. Hey, live your best life. Hit him with the Gladius. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, I was at SA3. That hurts. I'm not dead. It hurts a lot. If I'd done my input a little neater, I would have been able to punish with SA3. But I messed up the input and I was mashing a bit. Ooh, wow, what a reaction. That was good. Because the main thing with Dalsim is that because of the nature of like how awkward his buttons are and things like that, Dalsim more or less, if you're playing, like when you're on the defense as Dalsim, one of the things that you're spending a lot of time doing is you have to make very good use of the system mechanics. Wasn't able to really like push super hard on that front. Oh, that was cute though. Tried the slap. Ooh. This is what I meant by like as a Dawson player, like you have to understand how to use like the system mechanics to your advantage if you're playing as him. That's the kind of thing that I mean. Ooh, yeah, it was good. I was too high up.
Round 2. Fight.
I wasn't able to convert that, but if I had been a little bit more on the ball. Nope, I pushed it too hard. Thinking this was like Street Fighter 5 or some shit. That was expensive on my part, but it was worth it. I almost wasn't able to do that. You saw how little drive gauge I had? That was fucking... That was like a 5,000 IQ gambit or some shit. Yeah, the best punish for Super Art 2 when Dawson does it, the better one is to throw him. Because the throw keeps you from getting fucking caught by the super.
Cammy wins.
I'm doing good. Hope everyone's having a Friday for the weekend. Yeah, we're pretty good over here.
A new warrior has entered the ring. Round 1. Fight.
Oh. I did the wrong button for the punish. Ooh, unfortunate. I got the read on the fireball. If I hadn't gotten the read on the fireball, that would have turned out very different. Unfortunate. Oop. Shouldn't have done that. I should have just done... If I was going to do that, I should have just done SA2. But after the launch, I should have just done SA3, and that would have been much less risky. But I don't have the instinct anymore, because it's been a little while since I've done this. I need to be careful about those jumps, because Akuma's gonna nail me out. Ooh. Damn. Unfortunate for him. I messed up and I did the wrong punish button again. It's supposed to be 2 HP for situations like that, really. Good throw. Good throw. Thank you, Cat. Thank you, Cat Lizard. Hit the call.
Here comes a new challenger.
Yeah, for Cammy, ideally, if somebody does like a DP or something, you want to hit them with crouching heavy punch.
Let us begin. Round one.
That's her ideal punish button. I do the call, hopefully well. That's plus. Good throw. Good throw. That's my fault. I should. Okay, Katsu. That's fair. Spiral. Ooh. Too close, too close, too close. If I'd been spaced a little farther out, that would have been plus. But I was too close. Good. Yeah, I'm fucking cooked. I'm dead. Jesus Christ for you. Nah, I wasn't getting out of that.
Real wins.
I'm not even upset. That was clean.
Round one.
Yeah, that was not a good trade. Oh yeah. Nah, I'm fucked. Shinku. And even if the Shinku hadn't killed, would have had enough meter to land and do either Shoryuken or even like Shinku, and I would have been done. I'm not upset. Ooh, yeah, that's fair. Ooh, I was just short. I wasn't there though. I didn't mean to do that, but we take those. That was a misinput. I might have been trying to do a spiral arrow, but you know, it goes. Shogek, Tatsu. I waited too long. Yeah, good Shoryu. Yeah, I'm cooked. So yeah, basically the thing is that against Ryu in particular, because of the fact that he is Ryu, you want to be very careful about, and part of it is my fault because I'm not paying attention to where I'm pressing buttons. Thank you so much for the follow. We keep our followers anonymous so that people can lurk if they feel like lurking. Deeply appreciate the new follow though. Right. With Ryu in particular, especially as he's been getting stronger over the seasons, you have to really not press buttons at spots where you shouldn't be pressing buttons against Ryu, because what will happen is when you do that, he will literally just kind of like kick your guts out through your back. Y'all saw it just now. And that's kind of like always been his thing, right? Like Ken has been able to Ken's general calling card in Street Fighter has been that he is roundly more aggressive than Ryu is. Ryu tends to have a stronger, a more well-rounded kit in terms of like what is this Aki costume? It's her summer costume. Like when Cammy got her swimsuit outfit and Kimberly got hers as well from this summer recently. This is Aki's.
Round 2. Fight.
Or at least they I think it's her outfit for or something. I don't remember. It's something like that. I wasn't paying like a lot of attention because Cammy has one, but I didn't really want it. So it's either the summer outfits or like their outfit fours. It's one of those two. Ooh, too high up for me. I might be in trouble here. Yeah, Toxic Blossom popped. I'm done. I don't know if it's her outfit 4 or if it's like a summer outfit or something. I forget. Ah, damn. I am spending a lot of drive meter to try to make up ground in some spots. And that's not ideal. Okay, they like to do the grab a lot. But there's gonna be a point at which they're gonna try that and then it's not gonna be the grab, and I'm gonna scream. And I'm gonna scream and cry. Yeah. Some of this is my fault because I'm pressing buttons to try to contest wake up drive rushes in situations where I can't do that. I feel like they're never gonna top the one with glasses for Aki. Yeah, that one is pretty good. Like the suit one where it's kind of like she looks almost like she's sort of like rolling with a different variant of like Fang's sort of style. Yeah. Nah, that's fair. Ooh, God, that launches. Oh. Oh wait, why are they still poisoned? I thought they popped. That's what I thought, that they popped toxic. Ooh, unfortunate. But I messed up the punish. Nah, that's my fault. They got me. They should have enough. Alright, well they did have enough, but they just fucked up the punish.
Aki wins.
So my instincts aren't completely gone, but they're still kind of rusty. I've been missing that link a lot.
Here comes a new challenger.
Sagat Cammy. In Super Turbo, this matchup used to be really rough for her.
Beginning
Because Spin Knuckle was a pain in the ass to put in. And Sagat, even new Sagat, well, old Sagat especially, is kind of just like, he kind of just eats shit in that matchup, sort of. Because, like, there we go. Yeah, basically, Sagat, yeah, I would say that probably, at least in modern Street Fighter 2, so to speak, the strongest version of Sagat that you're going to run into is old Sagat in Super Turbo, which is his, which is Sagat how he was playable in the new Challengers, which is the version of Super Turbo that doesn't have, that does not have like supers in it or anything, as well as a couple other changes aside from that. But yeah, like old Sagat, like the way that he was circa new Challengers, yeah, like he was a menace. Older versions of Sagat also were to a certain degree, but like old Sagat is like the one where it's like, I read somewhere that Sagat is really good at most of the game. He appears in, but different ways. Yeah, that's accurate. I don't know enough about Alpha or Alpha 2 to be able to specify that. Alpha 3 might have been the game where he may not have been like super good, but Alpha 3 is a weird game where a lot of your viability as a character in a lot of circumstances is sort of dependent on how good you are in Vism. As far as Street Fighter Alpha 3 is concerned. If you don't have good custom combos in Alpha 3, then you kind of just eat shit. That's fair. Yeah, because like with Street Fighter Alpha 3 in particular, the main thing is that with Vism, it's interesting because in some ways, I want to say that like Vism is interesting because there's certain aspects. Right, I forgot this plus. There are certain aspects in which Vism turns out to be kind of like the decades early version of ooh, that's coming. I'll explain that. I'll explain a little bit later when I'm not, when Sagat isn't like trying to evacuate my entire face through the recipe. Oh jeez. Yeah, no, you got me a little kick. So the main thing about Vism in Street Fighter Alpha 3, the reason why it was so good, I was about to say don't bother playing CPU while you're in a fight. Normally I can do it without thinking too hard, but if the player's really good, I usually have to I have to like focus up usually. But yeah, so the whole thing as far as Vism goes. So, custom combos were a thing in previous versions of Street Fighter Alpha, but Street Fighter Alpha 3, they basically, at least the vanilla version of it. There are other isms. I think they're like there's another ism in like the home releases or something, I think, but I don't want to get into that. Basically, Street Fighter Alpha 3 has three main fighting systems that you can use: A-ism, B-ism, and X-ism. So Exism is named for the Japanese name of Super Turbo. It's like Super Street Fighter Turbo. It's like Super Street Fighter 2 X or something like that in Japan. I don't remember the exact Japanese name, but Exism is named for the Japanese title of Super Turbo because you would get you'd get one super meter. You have to fill it all the way up, and then that would be how you use your super move in Exism. But as a result, Exism does way more damage. Like if you're playing as a character in Exism, you do a shit ton of damage. And I want to say that in that scenario, you have like the longest guard gauge of all of the isms. A-ism, or it's E-ism in Japan because Street Fighter Alpha was Street Fighter Zero in Japan. A-ism is the super meter system kind of as we know it now in modern Street Fighter, where you have up to 3 stocks in your super meter, and depending on how many super meters you stock up, you can use a weaker, medium version or a stronger version of your super meter, right? B-ism is interesting because you only have the one super meter, and you can only use the level 1 versions of supers, but at, I believe, both 50% and 100%, you can activate the custom combo function. And when you do a custom combo, how do I describe it? Custom combos essentially let you do free cancels while it's up and running. It's really, really good. So there are a lot of characters who, hands down, are just way better in V-ism. Because the other thing about V-ism that I say sort of made it a modern precursor, like an older precursor to like the way that Street Fighter works now, is that in V-ism, so the way that Street Fighter used to work is that when you are close to an opponent and you press a punch button, right? Street Fighter used to have what's called proximity normals. So if you were standing close to an opponent and you did like standing heavy punch, right? I'm trying to remember this correctly, and I may misremember. I'm gonna do standing medium punches as an example, because I think this is better to explain it. It used to be, for example, that Cammy, I'm just using this as like a blunt example. So the Cammy is like here. In like older Street Fighter games, basically she'd do this instead, right? So like up close, her buttons would was like what Cat was said, right? Close and far buttons are different moves. Now, the thing is that V-ism removes your proximity normals, but in exchange, it puts your proximity normals and turns them into command attacks, which is literally what Street Fighter like 5 and 6 essentially do. Like Street Fighter 5, they completely removed proximity normals in that game, and for most characters that had specific proximity normals, they instead became command normals. But that was a thing in V-ism well before it was a thing in like Street Fighter 5 or 6. In terms of like removing proximity normals and doing that. So in a very weird way, right, V-ism is kind of like, at least as far as Street Fighter is concerned, sort of, in some small part, the modern, or the forerunner to the way that like proximity normals currently function in Street Fighter now. And personally, I messed up. I messed up the chain. So it would have been bop, bop, medium spin knuckle, and then SA3 kill. And I messed it up a little. But I remembered. So that's a good thing. It means that my muscle memory is still there. I just haven't exercised it in a while, so flipping a little. The combo that I would have wanted to use here would have been, I'll show y'all what it was. I was aiming for this one. Hang on. Uh, I'm trying to do that, basically. Keep it nice and simple. Or I could have done something nasty and after that second standing heavy punch, done swing combination into SA3, and that would have probably been max damage off of that. Hey, it's DJ.
Showtime, baby. Round one.
Speaking of glow-ups, from both a literal design perspective as well as like just like a gameplay perspective, Street Fighter 6 might be probably the cleanest that DJ has been from both a design perspective and like an actual like gameplay mechanic perspective for him personally. He has feints, his buttons are really long. He has a lot of things for like just changing the tempo of how he interacts with people. And I think that that benefits him much better than a lot of his other designs have in previous Street Fighter games. So like from a design perspective, and from a design perspective, both in terms of his literal like visual design as well as his gameplay design, clean. He's guile but sexier. Depending on who you talk to, a lot of people would say that was Nash, but I get what you mean. Or Remy, depending on who you talk to. Ooh, he tried to jump out there. I respect it. Ooh, nice shot on the DI. Okay. Yeah, it's good. Maybe. Gets them back. I'm still gonna have the drive advantage, but I eat a shit ton of damage, and the situation is a little reset. A little. Yeah, and that's the thing. DJ, and it's interesting because like DJ now has a very sort of specific kind of feel and interaction with the drive system. In that, ooh, that's safe, isn't it? Ooh, ahoo! I had to stop it there because I didn't have enough meter to force a follow.
Locked on.
Oh, yeah, now I'm cooked. Yeah. BRB smoke break. I could have maybe done a OD cannon spike to get out of that jab at the very end, but I would have had to like, you know, not fuck up the input, and I was feeling the pressure. Hesitated. That's my own fault. I hesitated there. Time. Yeah. Hey, yeah, and I was in burnout, so I was shipped out. And I didn't really have any way of getting around it because I was out of meter and out of options. Spin knuckle is not fast enough. Ooh, nah. It should kill. Nah, just missed just barely. Missed just barely. If I hadn't missed one of those hits on the super, it would have been a done deal. But it happens. Ooh. It's gonna hurt. I gotta be careful. I think this will kill. I think this should kill. Whew, jeez. Yeah, like, the thing is that DJ in Burnout, he has a really bad time. Look. The thing is that even when DJ is in Burnout, if you're not careful about how you approach him, he will still very much be able to like steal a march on you. Kind of thing. The thing is that like the main reason why DJ has a hard time in Burnout is mostly because he needs drive gauge basically to do either pressure or conversions and so he winds up using a lot of drive in that aspect. Like this, right? Like you saw, right? That one conversion he got, he literally spent like 3 drive gauges on that. Like half a drive gauge on that one conversion, right? Like he doesn't need it, but like you see, right? Like even in terms of like, oh yeah, I want to use like OD air slasher for pressure, right? Like that's expensive. OD jackknife kick is his reversal, right? Because none of his like you basically if you're trying to like do a reversal with any of DJ's supers, you have to use like super art. You can't use super art 1. I think super art 2 has strike involved, but I don't remember. Super art 3 definitely does. But the end result of that dichotomy is that when DJ's in Burnout, he loses a lot of his ability to convert off of random hits and things like that. But if you get too overeager and you're putting buttons in spots where you shouldn't be, even against like a burned out DJ, what you find happens is that you start getting hit with normals. That was cute. He tried to get away, but no. talk a little bit about Cammy.
Cammy wins.
The main reason why I'm always able to kind of use Cammy as like a home base character. Here's the main thing with Cammy, right? Cammy is what we call a strike throw character. She does not have a projectile. She does not have a standing overhead. Any overhead attacks that she does are either directly from normal jumps or from moves that are like jumps, right? Like that. However, the thing that Cammy is very good at is that she has pretty good walk speed. And while her buttons may seem like they're kind of short range, she has, like, she's not gonna outpoke like Chun-Li or anything like that, but she does have pretty good buttons for poking and setting up a variety of situations and for reaching in situations where you think that they wouldn't. And so what Cammy excels at is essentially you pressure people and you do what's called strike throw mix-up, which is, and it's strike throw is, fighting games are hard in general, is what I should say. But like strike throw mix-up in particular is something that's very difficult to really get a feeling for as a new player, because you have to sort of like understand one of the most, ooh, that was a good job. I might be getting but it's down over. So the thing is that, like with strike throw, the idea behind strike throw mix-up is that you have to learn how to tick throw, which is you hit somebody, they block the move, when they come out of block stun and they can be thrown again, you throw them, right? And once you know how to tick throw, that is sort of like the beginning of how you start threatening strike throw mix-up. Because the idea, essentially, behind strike throw mix-up is like stuff like this, right? Where it's like, all right, like you'll do that one time, where it's like, all right, I got a couple hits, I'll press it all the way through, and then sometimes I'll throw, or I'll do it, and then sometimes I'll keep pushing other buttons that I can push in that scenario where I'm safe, and you can't do anything about it, right? And the thing is that, like, maintaining a balance between when you should be pressing a button for the strike part of the strike throw and when you shouldn't be, it's a skill, it's a skill with some nuance to it, right? Ooh, good check. Yeah, that was good. I tried to push too hard there, and I hit the price. So, like, with strike throw in particular, the whole thing that you're trying to do is to create ambiguity in the defender's mind about whether or not, after you've landed a particular hit, are you going to attempt to attack, which is the strike, or are you going to try to throw? Right? Cammy is very good at that because she has very good walk speed. So, in situations where she's in close, it is very easy for her to, like, to create ambiguity between whether or not she's going to strike or whether or not she's going to throw, right? Ooh. If Ryu had done Shinku Hadoken there, I would have been hit. I wouldn't have done it. I would have been hit. But I was gambling on the fact that he wouldn't react in time. Classic example is strike throw, right? I walk up close enough to get this, then I throw. And if I suspect that, you know, if I'm in a situation where I suspect that Ryu is going to try to, like, bust through that somehow, then I answer with something else instead. Not in this case, though, he's dead. Right? And that's the part about Cammy that ultimately I can make work, is that because she has no projectiles, so she has a hard time in matchups where enemies are throwing projectiles, if you do not understand both the systematic and the specific ways of getting around projectiles that work for her. So for Cammy, for example, if you want to get through projectile, the medium, heavy, and OD versions of Spin Knuckle are made for that. But especially with some of the nerfs that they got a little while ago, you have to be you have to make a hard read if you're gonna like Spin Knuckle through a fireball, right? Like you have to know in your bones that shit is coming and set it up in time, because otherwise you'll fuck up. And so like the more common thing, right, like that. So the more common thing, if you're trying to deal with fireballs and you're like, I don't know if I can like reliably Spin Knuckle through a fireball, then you don't neutral jump over it, right? I should have burned meter on the Super Art one after the OD die pick just to be sure. Or if I was gonna do if I was gonna do DP, I should have done OD DP to make sure I got all the hits out. Yeah, like for example, right? So you saw there. Sometimes the answer to getting on a projectile is not even to try to like Spin Knuckle it. Sometimes you just neutral jump, right? Against like Ryu and Akuma and stuff like that, you have to be very careful about how you do that. Because, you know, you can't put yourself in a situation where you attempt that and then if they'd done like Super Art 3, I would have eaten so much shit there. But yeah, like sometimes like when somebody throws a fireball, the answer is not necessarily to try to like Spin Knuckle through it on reaction, because it's hard, right? Like I said, you have to be sure that you have a read in that situation. And you may not always. It's a difficult thing to do. So sometimes like the thing that you do, especially if you're far out enough, you just neutral jump it or forward jump over it. Yep. This isn't gonna kill. I'm gonna put Akuma through the corner, and then I get the opportunity to apply pressure and go for it. Akuma, if he'd done an ODDP or done like Nasatsugo Hado, like Fireball Super, I would have been pushed off, but they didn't want to risk it, I'm assuming. Plus, that's not though. Ooh, good check. I know, I hit that too late. So yeah, drive impact is also a good way of like Cammy's trying to do Spin Knuckle. If you drive impact correct, it is a good way of shutting it down. Good deal. That's my fault. Let's perish. I might be dead. This might do enough damage, but we have to see. Close. Yeah, it's my fault. I could have gotten out of that, but I would have had to react to the drive impact with like Super Art 3. That would have killed. But I do not have reactions like that. I'm saying that after the fact, not in terms of like, oh, I would have been able to get that. It's like, no, that's the way I would have gotten out of that if I could have reacted with that in time. But that wasn't gonna be a thing that was happening in that situation. That's my own. I wasn't getting out of that like that. Ooh, yeah, good. Nah, I waited too long. Yeah. The other thing that's getting me right now in the matchup is that I'm trying to press jab to check, try to check drive rushes in situations where that doesn't work. That's my own fault, basically. Like that, I was trying to match jab there, but Akuma had the frames, I didn't. Yeah. Tried to dive kick there and I messed up the input. I was trying to jab him out of the overhead there, and it doesn't work. So the thing about like people when they drive rush at you at a certain distance, set up like an overhead or something, people drive rush at you from a certain distance, like Akuma's doing to set up an overhead. There are circumstances in which by the time you get up and are ready to punch, they're already in your face and you get popped. And I kept reading that situation incorrectly. That's why I kept getting hit.
Here comes a new challenger.
Which happens.
Round one. Fight.
Oh, speaking of Chun-Li. So yeah, the thing about Chun-Li is that her walk speed is, I want to say, either about as good as or better than Cammy's. Clearly walking back. And the reason why this poses a problem is that Chun-Li's buttons are for poking. It is very difficult to think of a character in most Street Fighter games that is better at poking than Chun-Li is. She is extremely good at poking, and especially whip punishing because her backward walk speed is very good, so she can walk backward out of where a button is going to be, and then put her own button back there, and you have a hard time. Ooh, that was good. To be absolutely sure. Go to sleep.
Cammy wins. Round one. Fight.
There's the OD Tento kicks. I've been trying to bait that this whole time. They just weren't using it. Yeah, good Kosho. Good call. So, mostly every character in this game, not every character, mostly every character in this game has what we call a Strike Invincible Super Art 1. Strike Invincible meaning that any attack that counts like a physical hit that isn't a projectile, right, will go through, as in not be affected by Oops, I messed up with the cancel. So yeah, when I say strike and vault, I mean that if you attempt to hit somebody out of a Super Art 1, in most cases it will not work. Like they will be invincible to a strike, a physical hitting attack. And then, you know, you eat shit. However, most Super Art 1s in this game are not projectile involved. So if somebody is like doing Super Art 1, and then you like throw a projectile at them when they attempt that, that is usually the way that you get around it. Usually, it depends on the character. Like Ryu's Super Art 1. Ooh, I respect it, but no. Ryu's Super Art 1, for example, is a fireball super. So there are circumstances under which if you manage to have a fireball out and above him before the Shinku comes out, then, you know, you hold that shit, basically. That's the Ryu player. Like, it'll hit you out and you gotta hold that. But the flip side to that is that if Ryu gets out the Shinku Hadoken, right? Like, trying to just, like, lob a fireball to punish that isn't going to work, because the Shinku Hadoken will break through most other fireballs. You just gotta hold that. There are characters who do not have strike and vulnerable Super Art 1s. Elena does not, but there's usually a reason for it if they don't. And it's because in Elena's case, her Super Art 1 is an extremely potent combo starter. I messed up. I thought that was hard on the Blanca ball, so I did a parry instead of. No, wrong one. And I'm punished. I'm not dead. That was a nasty punish. So yeah. Blanca. I know I keep switching topics quickly, but like, because we keep running into variety of different characters. Blanca's whole thing is that basically, Blanca is about mind games and sort of being a shithead. Not in a, oh, he's busted way, but in a, Blanca takes advantage of the fact that, like, he'll just be doing some shit. And he relies on the fact that, you know, while he's doing some shit, you are also confused about what the fuck he's doing. And that's the part that makes him difficult to fight against. However, the main thing is that Blanca doing some shit is also incredibly committal, which means that if you... Okay, fine, jackass. I wanted to run back, but sure. If you catch Blanca, like... Sorry, I was being salty there because I liked having a full proper set, but...
Here comes a new challenger.
I'm being salty. Anyway, Blanca's whole thing is that while he is the master, just like I just be doing shit, the main thing is a lot of that is very committal on his end. So while it is very stressful and can be kind of a pain in the ass to deal with, you as the Blanca player basically have to be willing to commit really hard, right? Mena RD, who's probably one of the best Street Fighter players in the world. In particular, his Blanca is so scary precisely because he's essentially mastered the art of, like Mena himself, as like an actual person, like general read of him is that he is very humble, very hardworking, all that other stuff. But as a Blanca player, that man does not give a single fuck. And that is the part that makes Blanca work in particular. Like, you have to have the right amount of, I smell blood in the water, I'm going to fucking go in order to make him work as a character. Obviously, there's situations in which if you overcommit, that's not really any good for you either. And you have to be very careful about that. But the main thing is that if you're playing as Blanca and you understand when and how to commit like everything, you are going to absolutely like you will ruin people's days. He is very good as like a character in terms of like from a playstyle perspective. Like Blanca is really good at just like choosing to ruin your shit when he feels like it. And that's when he becomes scary, right? Like, once he has put you in the brain gulag of, I'm going to... just be doing shit at you, that's when you're cooked. Like, essentially, the key to, like, being able to deal with Blanca is to make him scared to do things. And the reason why Mena RD is so good as a Blanca player is that essentially he's ungovernable. He does not give a fuck. Right? It's one of those things where yeah, that's fair. Where essentially, if he's pushing on you like that, like you kind of just wind up in a situation where you get cooked. Kimberly is interesting because she's not in that vein exactly, but what I want to say is that Kimberly's main thing is mostly like she's really good. It's a little bit difficult to cope with her a little bit because some of her normals are a little bit short ranged. But the thing that Kimberly kind of like she's a different kind of unpredictability, right? Where a lot of like the philosophy behind how she works is that like, okay, if she's in a situation where she's gotten a chance to like sprint at you, that's good. No. Kimberly's main thing is most of that with sprint and her teleports. She's really good at like mixing between different options and making you guess. And once she gets her super art 3 out, her movement speed and her damage on all of her normals and stuff increases by like a lot. So it's interesting because basically in a lot of ways Kimberly is sort of playing the same kind of like strike throw game that Cammy is, except that she has more options for like grounded mix, essentially. I could have punched that. But we made it. So yeah, Kimberly's interesting in that sense because this Kimberly didn't get to use a lot, but Kimberly also has like a spray can special move where she puts the spray can down on the bottom on the ground and then after a little while explodes. So Kimberly is a lot more about like pressure and like funny tricky things in certain ways, and Cammy is a little more straightforward, and that's the thing that's I like about playing Cammy, but also difficult. Character because Cammy's very straightforward in terms of like that's fair. I didn't realize I'd get pushed so far back anyway. Ah, fuck. Yeah. I gotta work on my anti-airs. My anti-airs are probably like... Why'd you do that, bro? Will you please? Not like this. Not like this, my man. Get through. That was a good reaction. I'm not dead. It's gonna hurt a lot though. Ooh. Nope. That's my fault. I thought I had a counter hit there. If that had been a counter hit jab, then I would have gotten that, but it wasn't. I made a mistake. I touched this button after a time. Oops, I wanted that to be that kick, and I didn't do the input correctly. Ooh, good job. I might have been able to punish and kill off of that, but I'm not sure if I could have thought of something in time. Ah. I'm not dead, but it's gonna hurt a lot. Yeah, that's my own fault. My brain shut right the fuck off. They got me.
Here comes a new challenger.
Nowhere to run. No mercy for you.
Round one. Fight.
Yeah. Jury, how do I describe it?
Round two. Fight.
Oh yeah, aside from feet. Yes, you're correct. Feet is accurate, but I want to say that like with Jury in particular, um, with Jury in particular, she is very fast on the ground and has a pretty good selection of normals overall. And once she has Fuha stocks, like by doing that like little up kick that y'all saw just now, that enhances some of her specials or lets her do other stuff with them. And with those resources on deck, he is very difficult to deal with. Oops. She has standing over, unlike Cammy, right? You're done. So yeah, like Jury, unlike Cammy, does have a standing overhead, and her drive rush is very fast. So what that more or less equates to is that, in a lot of ways, Jury is sort of vaguely reminiscent of Ken insofar as like he's very good at being like really aggressive. The main thing is that like a lot of what really lets Jury like really get like nasty are those Alright, that's what it is. I think that whiffs now. So I need to be a little more careful about doing that. I forgot that was a change they made recently. So like Jury's whole thing is that because in a very general sense she is really aggressive and she moves very quickly, she can get on top of you very fast, and if she has Fuha stocks, the little Taiji tooth under her life bar when she does the little up kick thing, it makes her projectile deadlier. It makes some of her other special moves a lot more. It gives them a bit more pop in certain aspects. She can be very. She can be very difficult to deal with in that, especially like in situations like sort of like the one like that, for example. Like no, that's my own fault. I twitched. I shouldn't have done that. I twitched because I thought she was gonna press something. That's my fault. Shouldn't have done that. If I was going to do that, I should have reacted to Super Art 1. That would have been less resources spent. Yeah, I was too close. Yeah, I know. If I'd done that earlier, I might have been able to bust through, but I messed up. So, the main thing is that Jury's whole bag is aggression, and she is very good at taking situations where she gets a stray hit or situations where you allow her space to like get in and move. She will get in, move, and then punch your shit in, and that's kind of her thing. If you can keep her from building up resources, then she has a slightly harder time. But like a thing that a lot of Jury players will do is just be super aggro crag, like 10 players are, so they can sort of control the pace. Sort of like I did there. Jury players do that, except much harder and much more aggro. Night, Steppy. So yeah, this is what I meant by like Kimberly's whole thing is pressure. This is what I meant. Like, especially if she can force situations where you have to scramble a little bit, and she has time to either like get in or otherwise put out a button when you're down. Kimberly will force scrambles, make them really, really ugly for you. Gonna use SA3? Yeah. And you may be thinking, wow, this is early use Super Art 3. One is that it lets this Kimberly recover some drive gauge, and also now that Super Art 1 is out, she does more damage, and her movement speed is also increased. So it's easy for her to it's easier for her to do kick throws and things like that. So for a lot of Kimberly players, especially if it's like match point, they want to get Super Art 3 out as quickly as they can. Yeah, see, there's the spray can. But yeah, this is the kind of like Kimberly likes to like ideally basically vortex you. This is sort of her thing. Ooh, that was good. Good one. Remember what I said about Super Art 1 being shite involved? That's what I mean. Like, you saw the Kimberly do it there, right? Where it's like, alright, I'm just gonna use SA1. Did it again. So, like, I can't punch them out of that. However, if I had been willing to gamble on the fact that they do it twice, I could have blocked the second one. And then punish them for it. No. Alright. They haven't gotten enough for SA3 yet, but they might soon if I'm not careful. Yeah, and there it is. Ninja Star. I could have punished that, and I messed up. If I had enough health, I might have been able to bust that and get through, but the springboard might have brought them over. I want to play Elena for a little bit. Or Nights Out.
Elena.
Alright, it's a Ryu.
Let us begin.
I'm ready to go.
Round one.
Good recovery. Elena, unlike Cammy, does have a standing over. It's a little slow, but it has really good reach. And so, with Elena, she's a little bit slower than Candy, and it's a little bit harder for her to like set up things like throw loops and whatever. But the change for that is that like Elena's buttons in terms of like reach, the God is comparable to her in reach in terms of like how far buttons go and things like that. The God's just like a little bit slower, and he has like he has like projectiles and stuff like that to also complicate things. And that's why Elena's Super Art 1 does not have Strike involved, because it's a combo starter. And so Elena's whole game plan is that, you know, he does have to be a little bit more methodical in certain aspects in terms of like, that wasn't the one I wanted to. But as you can see, the main thing is that consequently Elena's reach and pokes are really good. And so one of the things that she sort of excels at is, especially if she's spending a lot of time like dancing in and out of the opponent's effective range, baiting them into doing a thing that they really shouldn't do is kind of her thing. And especially if you are able to confirm the opponent is standing up in a lot of situations as Elena, you get the opportunity to do shit tons of damage and make people kind of like regret walking up to you. But that's the thing, they have to be standing. So like, one of the things that like you have to gradually get used to as Elena is like learning how to catch people when they're walking back, so that like if they're walking back, you pop their toes, because if they're walking back, they have to be standing up, and when they're standing up, then you can like good. Yeah, this kid is very careful about when they start walking back. Why it's like that, right? Like if you catch somebody standing up because they're not paying attention or because they're trying to walk back on you, they're like, right, like if you catch somebody like trying to walk back, or if they're standing up when they're not looking, like that's when you want to catch people with like Elena's crouching medium kick, or sometimes even like her standing medium punch rather. Because a lot of like her target combos will go over opponents if they're standing up. It's not gonna kill, but they're buying time for their drive gate to generate. And they put damage on me. So now, like, if I guess wrong, right, I eat shit. I might have, if I had anticipated the Dragon Lash coming, I might have been able to drive impact it. But I don't know if I would have been able to convert that to a kill. Yeah, good. Yeah, my fault. I hesitated a couple times because I was thinking a little too hard. But it's okay. So the main thing is that, like... That's fair. Yeah, see, like, those times where Ken was walking back, if I'd been a little bit quicker to, like, do that, I might have been able to stop that. Maybe. Because, like, the tricky thing as Elena is, like, conditioning people to be afraid of the overhead. And so if you get into the habit of, like, knocking people down and then throwing the overhead when they're knocked down, if you do that too much, people will start to jab you out of it or whatever. And that's when you have to use stuff like back heavy kick. Or just, like, step back a little bit, step out of the range and pop them with something else. Yeah, like, I got lucky there in that, like... I get it. It's to buy time and to do damage. We should be maybe about equalized out. No, I have a little bit more. I messed up the timing on the Rhino Horn. And that's my fault, because I was presenting sides. So that's the thing, right? As an Elena player, it becomes very easy to become really inured to, like, I'm just going to slide. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do that. And a lot of those options are very committal. So as an Elena player,
Now, find a new rival.
you also have to learn how to use those things very sparingly.
I'm ready to go.
Round one. Fight.
So it's like, it's almost like people forget that you can do them, right? It is, at least in principle, very similar to playing a grappler. Because the thing that a lot of people don't realize initially is that with a grappler, the command grab is the most threatening thing that you can present, which means that you should not be presenting it all the time. And the reason why you don't want to always present the command throw as the grappler is because people start to expect that you're going to throw it all the time. They start anticipating ways that they can potentially stop you from doing it. Again, this is why I also, yeah, that's bad. With Elena, it's an interesting balance because, like, right, because of the fact that, like, a lot of her really devastating hits are either from lows or while you're standing, you really want to incentivize people to stand up, right? Which makes me think, okay, I should just be using the overhead a bunch, right? And it's like, not wrong. But it's all about the situations in which you use the overhead, right? Like, you do want to threaten it, and you want to hit people with it, but you don't want to use it all the time, the same way you don't want to slide all the time, right? Oops. Yeah, see, like Sagat is also going to be like Sagat will be looking for like the slot, right? So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I can still get the slide in and it will still work, but I have to be a lot more deliberate about where I put it. Because if I slide at the wrong distance, then like Sagat pretty much I eat shit. But as you can see, right, if Sagat also conditions me to try to like jump up and get over him, there's circumstances in which like I do not, right? See? Like, you see those couches, right? Like, Scott's looking for the slide. So that's why, right? Like, you saw how Sagat was like, kind of like jittering and like occasionally blocking, looking for the slide, trying to catch the slide. If I do it too close, then I'm punished. But I caught Sagat standing up. Hit me. Uppercut. This might kill. This should kill. So yeah, that's the thing with Elena, right? While she is a little slower in terms of movement speed, and it's harder for her to do things like tick throws and stuff like that, very different from Cammy, right? Like Cammy as a character thrives on like, she moves quick enough to get in and pressure you with buttons and make you want to like feel pressured into trying to press something to get out. She'll pressure you up and then, you know, GG's, right? That's Cammy's thing. Especially because she does move quickly and her buttons, she has like a fair suite of them. But like I said before, Cammy is basically all strike throw, right? like unless you get a, if you're trying to get overheads, if you do dumping attack or do hooligan and then down kick, those are the only ways you get overheads to Cam. She has no overheads that can be done while she's just standing on the ground, which essentially means that you are relying on basically nothing but strike throw, and the ability to get into your opponent's head and pressure them, and like whip punishes. That's basically a lot of what you're doing as King. Now, none of this is impossible, obviously. It just means that you are in a position where you have to think very carefully about how you press the advantage of it. Because it's not going to be... Candy has good pressure, but it's not going to be a turn forever either. So you have to think very carefully about that. Yeah, that was a good one. Good reaction. And now it wasn't. Ah, no. Yeah, they didn't have to go too hard in on that. There's also a modern Aki player, which more or less just means that there are certain things I have to be careful about trying to do because they will be able to react to, like, just much faster than I could. But now I don't have to worry about super RP at least. Ooh. Yeah, they're good though. A lot of people are like, modern is cheap because you don't have to do motions for super moves, which means you can react faster, which is true. Right? But it's also one of those things where like, modern players do take a damage penalty. So they do have to like basically sweat for all that it's a little more convenient for them to like be able to like run you down in certain aspects. The compensation is that you do have that. Oh, okay, that's how that happened. Yeah, this is also a good Aki player.
Aki wins.
So that's why I like. So Cammy and Elena, I like for different. I know I keep jumping around in topics, but Cammy and Elena, I like for these specific differing reasons. Cammy is a lot more straightforward to play, and essentially speaking, like with the way that my muscle memory for her works, I need a little time in the lab, and then I can I need a little time in the lab, and it's like, all right, I can just play Cammy. Don't have to think about it. Elena, even when I missed Cammy's mobility, I like Elena's reach, and I like the ability to be able to just like throw a standing overhead at people in ways that I can't like as Cammy. Gotta be careful about the sides. But I hesitate. OD spin side still would have worked there because it would have been high enough to launch. I didn't need to do that. I did not need to do that. It's what I was trying to say. Get done. Woo! Hey, Cookie Mom.
Elena wins. Round one. Fight.
But yeah, like the thing that I like about Elena in particular is mostly just that I have the option to be technical in ways that I'm not with Cammy. Not because Cammy is not a technical character, but because Cammy is much more straightforward. Good. Good throw. Ooh. I don't know why you tried to do a drive rush there. You cannot block during the first couple frames of a drive rush. Doing that as the defender on Wake Up is not a good idea. I don't know if that was meant to be a drive rush. I don't know if they meant to do a drive rush. They might have been trying to do like a drive parry or something. But like drive rush when you're the defender and trying to drive rush on Wake Up, that's wild. I respect the energy, but that's a little too much. Excuse me. We're gonna play maybe like 1 or 2 more matches because I have something at the bottom of the hour for 10:30 Eastern time I want to go to. Gonna probably need at least a little bit of time to get the program that I need to cooperate. So we'll do like 1 or 2 more, and we'll see how it goes. How are you doing today, Cookie Mom? Hopefully well, and Sin as well. I see you over there. Damn. I messed up the launch punish. So well. Yeah. Hades 2 looks like it's really good, but I haven't finished the first one yet. I have not even beaten Hades once yet. Roguelikes, I'm okay at action games, I like to think, but roguelikes I am admittedly skill issue on my part. Nope, that's my fault. And it's not even that I dislike Hades as much as it's just like I have not figured out how to lock in yet. So it's not even that I like dislike it, it's just mostly that like the roguelike parts of it. I don't think I've racked my brain around enough in terms of like, right, this is how you really think about like, you know, your build and how you can like actively sort of like cultivate and develop together builds on the fly. Like the improvisation part is the hard part. Ooh, I was not expecting that to trade. That wasn't the optimal punish there, but it was enough damage. That's all I needed. Alright. Yeah, okay, this Ryu is not going to be easy to catch doing the walkbacks. They are kind of wild, though. Nah, check me the jab, that's good. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I need to slow down a little bit. Because this Ryu's wild. Yeah. Okay, now I'm cooked. That's fair. I recognized what the Ryu is doing, but I couldn't adapt quickly enough. That might have been 2, yeah. So what the Ryu is doing, and I realize it now, but it's harder to react to. There are some Ryu players who are willing to sort of just trade and gamble on the fact that Ryu shits out damage. And they will just throw heavy. Not like as in throwing the game, but as in they will be willing to gamble on trades and they'll be willing to gamble on trades and situations where, essentially speaking, if they have punched you more times, it doesn't matter how many times they got punched. It's kind of like the fighting game equivalent of the rope-a-dope. And that's the thing. This Ryu is not as reckless, but the other one being so reckless made it very difficult to kind of like actually assert myself a little bit, because, you know, I was being tempted to basically swing wild with them, and that's not the thing I should be doing. Ooh. You're done. Yeah, and because this Ryu is not swinging as heavy, and also because I'm not being a doofus and like trying to like outmatch a Ryu in like the Gorilla Grip category, I'm having an easier time. I did that wrong. Because I was too busy talking. Part of it is also that I just need to learn how to anti-air better. My anti-airs are really bad. I have a very difficult time recognizing when somebody's gonna jump. And it's like one of the things that I have the most difficulty with. Oop. I respect that he tried it though. But yeah, ideally I would like to actually like get at least a couple of clears of Hades 1, and then, you know, get a job, and then think about Hades 2 later on down the line, because it looks like it's a fun game. Ooh, good reaction. I don't know if this will kill, but I think it should. It might or it might not. It depends on how hard it scales. Yeah, didn't quite do it. You tried it though, and I respect it. Yeah, one more, and then I'm gonna dip, probably. Not gonna raid anybody, because the thing that I would like to go to is going to be starting relatively soon, and I don't think I'll have time to find somebody to raid also.
Now, find a new rival.
Alright, last match of the night against the Ken. I'm down for that.
Gotta do this. Round one. Fight. Hadouken! Hadouken!
I'd say that Noob is doing the Silk Song, you don't want to vibe that way. Because I'm playing it right now, I want to avoid spoilers. I'm in Act 2, and but like maybe middle Act 2, and I know that Noob has probably been going in super hard, so if he's ahead of me, I don't want to get too many spoilers. I only look up things for Silk Song for specific things where I'm like, oh, I ran into this thing and I don't know what this is part of, and I'll go check that. But like, I'm trying to avoid like other spoilers. But I do appreciate the rec. Ah! There's the Ken pressure. There I am thinking I'm Cammy. I'm going like, I want to do dive kick. Alright, no, fuck, it doesn't work. Ah, I should have just let OD spin side rip. And we were in the corner. I could have done safety and gotten the kill. I messed up. Didn't recognize the situation. I didn't have the launch. That's why it didn't work. Yeah, it's my fault because I forgot that I didn't have the launch. Because normally with OD spin side, if you try to cancel it to super R3, usually the opponent is too high up. If you just do it raw, there are like certain preparations you have to make in order to really make it work. Yeah, now Ken's looking for the slide. Yeah, it's my fault. So yeah, in that situation, if I just let... Alright, they hit me with the one and done. Okay, fine. I'll hold that. I know that people are not obligated to give me like a one and done, but it's one of those things where I get a little bit annoyed, if only because one of my major things is yeah, like I prefer it when people run the set because I know that people are not obligated to run the set, but it's one of those things where it's like, especially you could say that's because I come from a culture where seeing people I think it might be either there's no space between command and add, or it's exclamation point add command. I don't remember which one. Yeah, my general thing mostly is that I'm used to people doing one and dones to like save their points and stuff like that. And I know nobody is obligated to play the full set, but like it's one of those things where I'm old school enough that I'm like, no, run the set though. Like, why are you running from the set? Like, run the set, just do it. But that's me, and I admit that, like, you know, people may have things to do, or just things may not be working out in that particular aspect, and I try not to be a pill about it. But sometimes I'm just like, no, run the set. Like, why are you running? Run the set. Let me see. Ah, there it is. Commands add. There we go. Yeah, like I'm a very strong proponent in running the set because, you know, that's my I'm old school. And I believe that if you're gonna step up into rank, like run the set. Like just run the whole thing out. If you're like, I just want to get points and get promoted, it's like you're missing the point of it. You're missing the point of the mode. And think that your priorities are backwards. But that's me being both old school and really picky, and a lot of other stuff that I know is like, ah, dang it, and we hit an add too. Okay. All right. I think, actually, Sin, we're gonna take your, I think, Sin, we're gonna take your, we're probably gonna take your suggestion. I know I just said I want to avoid spoilers, but let me just go look and see, I think we should probably go hang out with Perpetual. Because initially I was like, nah, I'm not gonna raid, and then I was like, but you know, I don't wanna. Let's. Because unless I spelled his name, okay. No, I think this is the wrong one. Because I was about to say the new Bino is not playing that game. I went and looked and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not correct. Okay. Never mind. I found him. But also, it looks like he is not in a spot ahead of me by the look of it. By the number of like masks. I think we can go hang out with Perpetual. So. Alright, we're gonna go hang out with Perpetual Noob. This is the raid message. So yeah, thank y'all for coming by. We are gonna go hang out with Noob after all. I was like, I don't want to spoilers for Silk Song, and then I looked and it's like, no, it looks like based on where he's at. Well, now he might be farther ahead of me. So I'm gonna rate and run at least though for people who maybe are interested in Silk Song. We'll go hang out over there. But thank y'all for coming by. Deeply appreciate it. Links are over here. If you want to hang out and know more about like the game dev stuff that I do from the perspective of like, you know, actually hanging out in the server where the game dev things happen, there's the spot. You can play our prototype for Shoot Lancer if you like. And then Gilded, you want to hang out with us when we're not doing stream stuff, that's the spot. We watch anime on Saturdays and tokusatsu and things like that. It's fun. Good time. So, thank y'all for hanging out. I appreciate it. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Give Noob and SGH his raids when we get in there. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask. If you go outside, be excellent to each other, but not to bigots, racist, terrorists, sexist, anti-queer folks, or fascists. This is a reminder, Black Lives Matter, trans rights, and reproductive rights are human rights. Palestine, Sudan, the Congo, and New Caledonia, and Haiti must all be free. None of us are free till we're all free. Look out for each other, take care of each other. You don't have to do a lot of like big things in order to do that. Just looking after each other in little ways is more than enough. Alright, y'all. That's all I got. I'm gonna go do my thing, because that's starting in like 13 minutes, and I have to fight to get this thing launched in order to make that work. So, appreciate y'all deeply. Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. Wednesday is birthday stream. Wednesday is my birthday stream. If I'm not busy with certain other obligations, birthday stream is gonna be game dev stuff. More Shoot Lancer things, and we'll be up to some mischief. So, I'll see you then, or see you whenever it is. That will be Wednesday, October the 1st. So, not yet, but soon, TM. Alright, y'all. That's all I got. Enjoy your time with Noob and Hollow Knight. Again, if you don't want like spoilers for Silk Song, you may want to dip out of the raid, but if not, come along with us. Alright, y'all. Take care. I'll catch you when I catch you. Deuces.